Okay guys, welcome to unit 7 programming assignment. Okay, so the previous assignment, which is for week 5, because week 6 does not have a written an assignment. Okay, so in case you did not succeed in doing your assignment for week week um week 5, here is the assignment. Okay, here is it. So let's run it and see if it's working. So as we can see, the assignment is working, so everything is good to go. So let's begin the week 7 programming assignment. Here's it. Okay, copy from here, let's say here to here. Oh, I've already done that, so let me just play this.
In this assignment, you will again modify your quiz program from the previous assignment. You will replace the text-based dialog boxes with button-based dialog boxes specialized for multiple choice and true-false questions. This assignment uses many classes and methods described in Chapter 6 of EC, and the instructions below include references to the relevant sections of Chapter 6. First, modify your main program for easier testing. Open your CS1102 project in Eclipse. Bring up Ques.java in the editor pane. Use /n/ to comment out all your questions except one true/false question.
Okay, they say we should comment out all our questions except one true/false questions by using these two stuffs. Okay, let's just do this first step. So I'm already in the CS folder. Okay, they say inside here, it's very simple. They say comment question. So if you want to comment one line, you use /. You want to comment multiple lines, you just do this. Where's my star? Then they say we should leave one true or false question. True or false question. So I'm just going to stop here. So I have only one question, which is true or false question. True, then I comment out the rest of the question. As you guys can see, the rest of the question I'll comment them, I all comment out, then left with this one. So we have only one question, the rest are comments out. I comment them out. So let's continue.
Use /n/ to comment out all your questions except one true/false question. Run your program to make sure it asks just one true/false question. Create a new class for your specialized.
Okay, they say we should run our program to make sure it asks only one question. Okay. So the answer is false. Oh, no. Correct. Okay. So it's asking only one question, as expected.
Create a new class for your specialized dialog boxes. Select New class from the File menu. Enter the name QuestionDialog and click Finish. This class will extend the Java component JDialog.
Okay, they say we should create a new class and this should be the class name. That means we should just create a new file. That's what they're saying. Okay, create a new file and this should be its name, the name of the file, but the file should be end with .java. Okay, so I think I've already done that. Okay, so you can see it's inside the source folder. This is the file. Here's the file. I've already done that. What happened? Okay, I've already done that. Here is the file. So you guys know how to do this now. Just click here. You click here, come to Java file name and type this name here. That's all. And press enter. Come on. It's easy to just create a file. So I'm not going to go through that. You should know that. So create a file. The file should be inside of this list. Okay, so the file should be inside of this list and this should be the file name. So if your file name is not this, look at it here. So it should be inside of the source folder and it should be this. So do that.
This class will extend the Java component JDialog to create a dialog window. JDialog is similar to JFrame. Your class will also implement the interface ActionListener to respond to button clicks. Add import statements for JDialog and ActionListener. Use asterisk to simplify the list. Import java.awt.event asterisk. Import javax.swing asterisk. Extend JDialog and promise to implement ActionListener. Public class QuestionDialog extends JDialog implements.
Okay, so they are saying inside of this new class we created, that is this new file, we should import these statements. Okay, so here are the statements. We have imported them. Then they say we should extend it. Okay, so they even give us a code example here. I'm going to explain this now. Let me just paste it. So this should be arranged here. Okay. You guys should know this now. This is public class. This is the name of the class that we created, which is this file. Now we're extending the JDialog. Okay, the JDialog. If you know JFrame, so it's the same thing. We're extending the JDialog. So this is a file, but we are not seeing the file. This is just like a class to a JDialog class. We're not seeing it, so we're extending it. So we imported swing. Okay, and this event here. So now we're implementing an interface. Okay, an interface. All of them are coming from the interface is coming from here. The swing is coming from here. Okay, so you should know now our last assignment you know how to extend now, so you should understand this. In our last assignment, we extend, let me show you here. You see, extend question. Okay, so it's the same thing that I'm doing here, but this file, you are not seeing it. It's inside here, so that's why we're importing this. So this is an interface. An interface only have method that are not written. They just created the method, but the method are not doing anything. It's just like abstract, just like, so interface has stuffs like this. You see this you see this method here. It's not doing anything. So that's what this is going to have inside of it. Okay, so you have to override the method like how we did in here, that will override the method. If you don't understand, don't worry. If you keep going, you're going to understand. But you should know this extent should not be a shock to you, and the implement should not be something that is a shock to you. Okay.
Public class QuestionDialog extends JDialog implements. ActionListener. The dialog box will store the user's answer based on a button click. Add a string instance variable called answer. String answer.
Okay, so they're saying we should add an instant variable called answer. So I've done that. Let's see what's next.
String answer. Add an implementation of the actionPerformed method to support the ActionListener. Interface. Public.
Okay, so you're seeing they say we should add a actionPerformed method to support the ActionListener interface. Okay, so as you're seeing, like I said, it's an interface. This is an interface, okay, that has method that doesn't do anything, so you have to override the method. So we have already one method here, which is this one. Let me just copy it and paste it. So you see the sign here, that's we're overriding this method. This method is created inside of here, so here we're overriding it. So you should know what override is, because if you did the week 5 assignment, you know what override is.
Public void actionPerformed. Inside the method, set answer to the label of the button that generated the event E. As described in section 6.5.1, this label is returned by getAction command. Answer equals e.getAction command.
I think we should add this statement here. Okay, so we are setting this answer to this.
Answer equals, when a button is clicked in a question dialog, answer will get set to its label. This is all the dialog box needs to do, so it can then return control to the main program. Inside the actionPerformed method, after setting answer, return control by closing the dialog. This is done with the dispose method that QuestionDialog inherits from a parent class. Dispose.
Okay, so if you add this, let's see what's next.
Mm,
Stop here. Okay.
The editor pane for the class should show no error warnings. The editor may show an informational warning about a missing ID for serialization, but you may ignore this since you will not be using the serialization features. Serialization is the ability to read and write object data from end to files. Now modify the question class to use the new QuestionDialog. Change the question instance variable from a string to a QuestionDialog. QuestionDialog question. You will make more changes to
Okay, so they're saying that we should go inside the question class, that is this question file, this question file, and should change the question instance variable to, and replace it with this. Okay, so you just copy this. Now let's go into the question file. Then we'll look for the variable. Yes, here's it. Then we'll replace it with this. That's all. That's all.
You will make more changes to the question class later. Next, modify true-false question to use QuestionDialog. Start with the ask method, which becomes much simpler. It only needs to do two things: make the QuestionDialog visible and then get the answer from it. Delete the current statements from the method ask in true-false question. Add a statement.
Okay, so they say inside of this file, true ask question, true false question, that is a method ask. Okay, so they say we should delete what's inside the method. Okay, so if we come here, here's the method ask, so that say we should delete what's inside. Okay, I deleted with the closing brackets. Let me do Ctrl Z. So I'm supposed to leave this one, so I'm supposed to delete from here to here. Now it's okay. So let me continue.
Add a statement to make the QuestionDialog box visible. Like for JFrame, JDialog uses the setVisible method. Question.setVisible. This will turn on the QuestionDialog box, which runs until it calls dispose.
Okay. So we should copy this and paste it inside the
This will turn on the QuestionDialog box, which runs until it
the method. Okay, so this should be inside of the method. It should be inside of the method, and this is responsible for showing the dialog box, I think, because they said set to visible true. That's what it's saying here. So this is responsible for showing the dialog box.
This will turn on the QuestionDialog box, which runs until it calls dispose. Once the QuestionDialog box returns from setVisible, it has set its answer. This is because the dialog box is modal, as explained below. Have the ask method return the answer. Return question.answer. Next comes
Okay, they say we should have the ask method return the answer. Okay, so if you are wondering what is this returning here, so remember this is extending the question class. So this question is referring to this. This question is referring to this, and inside of this, there is an instant variable called answer. Okay, so it's referring to the value that is passed through whatever the value that is here. That's what this is referring to. Okay, so it's passing through here first. It's going to go, because since this is extending, this is coming from here, then inside of here. Okay, hope this code is not confusing here.
Next comes the more complicated task of building up the question dialog box for a true/false question. You do this in the constructor for true/false question. Change the import statement in TrueFalseQuestion.java to include all swing classes, and add an import for the AWT classes. Import java.aw.
Okay, so they're asking us to go to this import statement inside of this TrueFalseQuestion.java file.
I see you as a very responsible young man. Thank you for the compliment, man. Appreciate it. It's fine. So, what do you think about the young lady that came to visit today? That lady? She's okay.
Control Z. Okay. It's okay now.
In what light are you at?
Yeah, the two import statements.
I'm thinking, would my son like how she be?
Then
Import java.awt asked, replace the string initialization of this.question in the true/false question constructor with a new question dialog. This.question equals new question dialog. The dialog box will have a single question with buttons below. Give it a grid layout width.
okay, so this statement here is going to, so we should copy this statement. Let me repeat so that you hear.
Give it a grid layout width. Replace the string initialization of this.question in the true/false question constructor with a new question dialog.
So they say we should replace this. We should replace. Let me show you what we're going to replace. It's inside of yeah, inside of here. Okay. So they say this. We should replace it with this. Okay. So you are seeing it. I replaced the let me just do Ctrl Z in case I was too fast. Maybe you guys did not see it. So this was what was there before. So I replaced it with this. This.
I just wish I had a magic wand.
Okay.
So I can turn her into an ant and
Let me continue.
with my thumb. But no, if wishes were horses, I think I would be skydiving.
With a new question dialog. The dialog box will have a single question with buttons below. Give it a grid layout width. One column and any number of rows. This.question.set layout. Add the question string to the window as a JLabel. Center it using JLabel.center.
Okay, so they are saying we should add we should set the layout and use a grid layout with the number of column and rows. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this. This is the statement here. So just come down here. Okay, so you see 0 is for the row and 1 is for the column. So you can change this number and test them out on C. So you can change the number and test them out on C, but not now when we are done.
Yes, they are. They
JLabel.center. Add some spaces to each end of the string to keep it from getting too close to the edges of the dialog window. This .question.add, new JLabel, plus question plus J.
Okay, so they're saying we should still add this. Okay, so let me just copy it.
Definitely. I studied
So delete this. Okay, as you can see, it's showing an error. It's because of this the quotes. Okay, so you add the statement here, and they say we should put spaces. Sorry, no. They say we should put spaces to make it so that the question will not be close to the frame. So you should just add spaces here. I've already added spaces, so make sure you have the statements here like this. Then let's continue.
JLabel.center. Create a new JPanel to organize the true/false buttons. You will add this panel to the dialog box later. JPanel buttons equals new JPanel. This .question.add.
Okay, so we should add this statement to add a panel. Okay, then let's see the next question.
Tell you that I'd like you for my son. What? No, I'm sorry. That was not the expression. I'm sorry. I didn't see that coming. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Mom. What? Really? I'm not really used to this whole matchmaking thing. I'm really sorry. What? I don't know if that's a good idea.
Okay.
The next step is to add buttons to the buttons panel. You use a separate panel for the buttons so they appear in a single row, using the default layout, flow layout, as described in section 6.6.1. Because you will add more than one button, encapsulate the steps in an add button method. Add an add button method to the TrueFalseQuestion class. The method takes the buttons panel and a button label as parameters.
Okay, so they're saying we should add a method, add button method, that takes the JPanel and a string as a parameter. They even give us a code here that we can copy. So I just copied it. Then it should be, the method should be inside the class. So just paste it. Then let's see what's the next step.
Buttons panel and a button label as parameters. Void add button. In the add button method, create a new button with the provided label. JButton button equals new JButton. The question object is.
Okay, so they say we should add these two inside the method. Okay.
The question object is programmed to respond to button clicks by implementing action performed from the ActionListener interface. Wire it up to the new button by adding it as a listener. Button.add ActionListener. Finally, add the button to the buttons panel.
Okay, so they say we should add a listener to the button. Okay. If you are wondering what a listener is, here's it. Okay. Yes, we add a button. We add a listener to the button. Okay, so this button will be waiting for for it to get click. Okay, so the button will be waiting for it to get click. Okay, so it's just like an event. It's waiting for it to get click. Okay.
Finally, add the button to the buttons panel.
Okay,
Buttons.add.
okay, they say we should add the button to the button panel. Okay, so just copy this code. You paste it here.
Buttons.add. Use this add button method to add true/false buttons to the dialog box. In the true/false question constructor, add a true button to the buttons panel. This statement must come after the definition of the buttons panel. Add button.
Okay, so we should add this after those inside the constructors. So inside the panel. Okay, so they say I should add this after this. So okay, they say the button should be two. The button is supposed to be two. One that says true and one that says false. Okay.
Yes.
Let me see.
I did have a dream. It was a terrible nightmare.
I'm coming. Let me just. Okay, yes. One that has. Okay. So if you are calling the method should be two. One for false and sorry, one for true and false. Okay, so yeah, we're passing the panel here as argument, so we're calling this method two times, which is yeah. Okay, so we're setting the label for the button, passing the parameters here, and this one we're adding all of this. We're adding all of this inside of here. Okay, and we are calling the methods here, setting the parameters, the actual parameters. We can still call them arguments. One is for the label, that's what word will be inside of the button, and this one is responsible for this. Let me continue. Let's see the next step.
Add another button for false. Add the buttons panel to the dialog box itself. The multi-column panel will be added to the single column grid layout. This .question.add. The construction of the dialog box requires a few additional steps in the true-false question.
Okay, they say we should add this.
Constructor for proper behavior, size, and location. Make the dialog box modal, as described in section 6.7.2. This will keep the dialog box from returning control to the program until it is disposed. Recall that this disposal happens after a button is clicked, thanks to your implementation of actionPerformed in QuestionDialog. This .question.
Okay, we should add this. That's what they're saying. Add this for at least 3 things. So I think we're supposed to add 3 things. Okay, yes, I was 1, 2, 3, because they are saying for responsible for the behavior, size, and location. Okay, so this is the first one. Let me just copy this. Then it should be here.
This .question.set modal. Use the pack method to resize the dialog box based on its contents. This
Okay. Add this.
Are you serious? That girl is fire. Fire.
Oh.
No, I didn't tell you I needed fire because I don't have any water. Okay. Come on, being sarcastic. That is the real deal. Okay.
This .question.pack.
Try to get to know.
Center the dialog box on the screen using the set location relative to method with a null argument. This method is not described in EC, but it appears in standard Java documentation. This .question.set location relative to
Okay, they're saying we should add this. Okay, so we just added these three statements here. Okay,
I guess I'll find that out for myself.
so we're done.
But no, I know the qualities I want to know.
Let's see the next step. What will be the next step?
Right. I like how I go. So give it a try. Okay, we'll see about that. I know. So, where am I having my first look? Michelle, right. How do you want to I miss this so much.
that completes the construction of the dialog box question in the true-false question constructor. Note that the constructor should still include the initialization of the answer string from the previous assignment. The editor pane for TrueFalseQuestion.java should have no errors. If you open MultipleChoiceQuestion.java, however, you should see errors from the initialization of question, which is now a question dialog instead of a string. Delete the question initialization statements from the multiple choice question constructor.
Okay, so they're saying inside of yeah, we should delete the question okay, let me show you what they're saying we should delete. So they're saying yeah, we should delete this inside of here, as you're seeing, inside the multiple choice question. So I'll delete that. So let's see what's the next step.
Yes. His name was Fabian. He passed. He died of stomach cancer.
If you properly commented out all but one true/false question in your main program, you should now be able to run. The program should display a dialog box with your true/false question, along with true and false buttons. Clicking one of the buttons should close the window and replace it with the appropriate correct/incorrect dialog. Next comes building the dialog box.
Okay, they say if we did everything correctly, and our program should work. Okay, so let me run the program and see. So we have one question here, and we know the answer is false because it's no here. So let's run it and see.
Well, I like to say life doesn't have a remote, so you get it.
Wow, okay, this is the question. My name is Mary. Is it true or false? Okay, we know the answer is false, so it's correct. Wow, correct. One. Let me run this again. Let me say let me try true. Okay, it's an incorrect answer. Wow, our program is working. So our program is working. Everything is good. In case you're confused, let me just explain some things to you in case you're confused. So inside of here, now this code here is responsible for, just for getting the label. Okay, so it's getting the word that is inside the button, which is this. where's okay, so it's responsible for getting this. Okay, let me run the program again and show you guys what that thing is doing there. Okay, let me run the program and show you what this code is doing. If I run the program now, okay, the program is getting this word inside the button. Okay, it's still called a label. You can just call it a label. So it's getting the word that's inside the button, or you can say the title that's inside the button is getting it. Okay, so it waits. So whatever button you click is going to get what is inside. Okay, then it's going to, so if I click any button, it's going to get the label that is inside, then assign it to this answer, then close the program or stop the program.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, then
I was having a nightmare.
it's going to,
Did I scream? I was having a really bad nightmare. I'm sorry. Good morning.
so inside of here,
I just woke up. Stop. I'm trying to look away.
I'm coming.
I woke up like this.
So after you got the answer, it's going to check it and compare it with what we put there. So you remember, inside of the true or false question,
Oh,
the correct answer, which is this one, is just going to return true or false. Okay, so inside of the question, after you click the button, it's just going to compare the correct answer and what this is going to return. So this ask method is returning, here's it, is returning this, which is this. Okay, you should understand what's going on here. Let me just prove it to you and see. Let me just prove it so that you see what is going on here. Let me change this. Let me change the label, but let me add a label. Okay, let me just add a label. Let me add a button. Sorry, I'm saying label. So let me add a button. So I'm adding a button. Now I'm giving the button a gibberish word. Okay, so if I run the program, I will expect to see three buttons. And now let me just console log. Sorry, let me show you this on the console so that you see what it's going to show. Okay, so when I run the program, it's going to wait for you to click a button. When you click a button, it's going to get the label that's inside the button. Okay, then assign it to this. It's very simple. What is the label? This. If I click any of these buttons. Okay, so let me run the program now so that you see. Okay, so as you are seeing, I'm having three buttons. So you are seeing this gets this gets inside the console, as you can see, as expected. Okay, so it's simple. What's going on here is simple, nothing scary, nothing like how does he knows the answer. Okay, so let's continue. Let me stop this. So let's continue.
Next comes building the dialog box for multiple choice question. The first step is to reuse what you can from the true-false question definition. You can do this by moving parts of the definition to the parent class, question. For example, the ask method in true-false question is now also appropriate for multiple choice question also. In Question.java, replace the existing import statement for J option pane with the two imports in TrueFalseQuestion.java.
Okay, they're saying in Question.java we should replace the import statement with these two import statements. Okay, so they're saying Question.java, which is this one. So they're saying we should replace this import statement with those statements.
I think you have all of those. I do.
And I should probably delete those things I add, which is this button. I was just explaining it to you guys. Then where is it? Yeah, should just delete this. Okay.
I like bitter soup.
So let me see what's next.
Imports in TrueFalseQuestion.java. Replace the abstract ask declaration in question with the concrete ask definition. From true-false question, delete the ask definition from true-false question.
Okay. So they're saying the ask method, which is abstract, that is inside of the question. Okay. Let me just. So they're saying this method here, we should delete it, and we should go inside of here. We see this method here, we should delete, we should cut it. Okay, then we should, that method we deleted, we should replace it with this. That's all. Okay, so we deleted the abstract method that was here and replaced it with the method that was inside of here. Okay, so that's what we did. So now this one is not having an ask method.
Some of the statements in the true-false question constructor can be shared with multiple choice question, but the order of the statements is important. Statements at the beginning of the constructor can be moved to a question constructor for sharing. Create a question constructor that takes a string question parameter. Delete the ask definition from true-false question. Some of the statements in the true-false question constructor can be shared with multiple choice question, but the order of the statements is important. Statements at the beginning of the constructor can be moved to a question constructor for sharing. Create a question constructor that takes a string question parameter. Question. Copy the first 3 lines of the true-false.
Okay, so they say we should create a constructor for the question and
copy the first 3 lines of the true-false question constructor and paste them into the question constructor. These lines initialize the question instance variable, set its layout manager, and add the question text to its content.
Okay, so they say the first 3 lines. Okay, so we should copy this and add it inside of here. So they're saying the constructor inside of here. So they're saying the constructor inside of here. This one that we just added now. Then we should go inside of here. The first 3 lines, which is 1, 2, 3. I think they say we should cut it, if I'm not mistaken. They say cut it. Then we should paste it inside of here. Then let's see what's next.
Layout Manager, and add the question text to its content. Question constructor. These lines initialize the question instance variable, set its Layout Manager, and add the question text to its content.
Okay, let's see what's next. We're done with all this, so I'll copy from here.
This question equals new question dialog. This question.set layout.
They are just showing us what we should copy and paste inside of that constructor we created. Okay, I've already done that now. This is the three things. Yeah,
This Note that you still need this to distinguish the question dialog instance variable. Question from the string parameter question. In the true-false question constructor, replace these lines with a single call to the question constructor. Super.
Okay, so they're saying inside of here that where we cut this, we should just replace it with this statement. Super. Okay.
Super. Recall that super must be the first statement in the true-false question constructor. Add the equivalent super statement to the multiple choice question constructor to eliminate error warnings. Note that the actual argument in this case may be query instead of question. Super. You can now delete the java.awt** import statement from true-false question. You can now delete the java.awt** import statement from true-false question because that dependence has been moved to question.
Okay, so
Super.
First of all, inside of inside of this multiple choice question constructor, we should add this. So it should be the first thing. Multiple choice question constructor. So inside of here, we should add this. Then what again? They say we should delete this. We should delete this import statement inside of the true-false question. So true-false question. Here's the import statement. So we should delete it. Okay. I've deleted it. Then I think that's all. That's all. Let's see what's the next step.
I eulogize you in his presence, and you can't even cook an ordinary bitter leaf soup. So what would happen if I had asked you to cook a salad soup? That means you would spend the rest of the year in the hospital. Stop telling me sorry. How can you not know how to cook?
You should now have no error warnings, and your program should work as before. Give it a try. The true-false question can.
Okay, they say we should have no error and our program should work as before. Let me just run it. Okay. Okay, it's still working. It's still working.
The true-false question constructor has more statements to share, but they come after some statements that are specific to true-false question. Encapsulate the shareable statements in a question method. Create a method in question to finish the initialization of the question instance. Variable. It needs no parameters, and it returns nothing.
Okay, they
Void
said,
init question dialog.
they said we should create a method in the question that returns nothing. Okay,
Yes, sir. Please don't disappoint.
so inside of question,
Good, thank you.
here's it. And let's see what's next.
Void init question dialog. Copy the statements from the true-false question constructor that make question. Modal, set its size, and set its position. This.question.set modal. This.question.pack. This.question.set location relative to. Paste them into init.
Okay, so they're saying inside of here we should copy these three statements, cut them and paste them inside of here. Okay,
Paste them into init question dialog. Note that this is no longer needed for these statements, but it does not hurt. Replace the three statements in the true-false question constructor with a call to init question dialog, which is now inherited from question. Init question dialog.
okay, so they say where we cut that statement, where we cut that statement, we should replace it with this. So inside of here here is where we cut the statement. So I replaced it with this. Then what's next?
Again, you should have no error warnings, and your program should work as before. Test once more. Now you are ready to create the dialog box for multiple choice question.
They say our program should have no error. We should still do another test to make sure it doesn't have an error. Okay, so I'm running the program to see. Okay, no errors. Okay, our program is still working.
Now you are ready to create the dialog box for multiple choice question. In MultipleChoiceQuestion.java, replace the import for J option pane with the imports for all AWT and swing classes. Import java.awt asterisk. Import javax.swing asterisk.
Okay, so they're saying that we should import this. We should import this inside of the multiple choice question. So we should copy this and paste inside of the multiple choice question. So inside of here we should import this. So we should replace it with this that was here. Then let me see what's next.
Just as you gave true-false question the method add button, you will give multiple choice question a method to create its answer choices. Each choice will need both a button and a text label. However, and the choices should be arranged in a column instead of a row. In multiple choice question, create a method called addChoice that takes two string arguments, one for the button name and one for the answer label. Void addChoice. In this method, create a panel to arrange the button.
Okay, so they're saying inside of them, yeah, we should add this method. Okay, inside of the multiple choice question. We should add this. Yeah, I jumped this, so this see, so I wanted to show you guys. So we should delete the method. Okay, I've already done that, so that's why I didn't show you that. So I've already done that. Okay, so let me just continue. They're saying the abstract method. I've already done that, so we should just continue. I remembered. Oh, so I've already added the method. I think we should delete this ax method. Okay. So
in this method, create a panel to arrange the button and the label. Use a border layout as described in section 6.6.1. JPanel choice equals new JPanel. Create a button with the given name. JButton button equals new JButton.
okay, so that's saying we should use this inside of the method, and we should use this too, which is dispensable for the button. Then what's next?
JButton button equals new JButton. Wire this button into the actionPerformed method of the question object, so it will record the answer if the button is clicked. Button.add ActionListener. Add this button to the choice pane.
Okay, so this should be too inside of here. Then
add this button to the choice panel, aligned to the left, or west, border of the panel. Choice.add.
okay, so align to the left or west. Okay, we are good with west, nothing wrong with west, so just leave it west. So what they're saying, west or left, so that's saying you can change this to left or west. I think we have north. Okay, north, so it should just be west. Oh, west is good.
Add the answer label to the center section of the panel, with some extra spaces on the end, to keep the label from appearing too close to the edge of the dialog box. Align the text to the left so it starts near the button. Choice.add, new JLabel, label plus.
Okay, I think we should add this and add spaces to it so that it won't be too close to the button, so that the options would not be too close to the button. So we should add spaces here. I think we should add spaces here too. I think we should add spaces here too. Okay, that's good. Then
Choice.add, new JLabel, label plus. Finally, add the panel holding the button and answer label to the dialog box. Question.add. Recall that the dialog box has a grid layout with a single column, so this will make a column of answer choices.
Okay, so that's saying we should add this. Then we're done. Let's see what's next.
This is my face. Unless you want me to get a plastic surgery or a disfiguring scar so she can feel my face. The woman who doesn't know. Is that one? Stop now.
The final step is to update the multiple choice question constructor to build the dialog box. Use the add choice method in the multiple choice question constructor to add choice. Using formal parameter A as the answer text. Add choice. Note that this statement must come after the call to super in the constructor. Add choices for the other formal parameters, B, C, D, and E.
Okay, so they say this should come after the super, and we should add the choices for the A, B, C. So after here, after this, it should come. So we should add it to it. Okay, so we'll come here. Yes. B.
And to be very honest, cooking is quite a huge task for me. I don't think it's my thing.
C.
But this is what you wanted? No, I just wanted to escape from the hurt and the hunger. From who?
D.
Your child.
Then D.
Because I used to think you were a very smart person, but I began to think otherwise because I never saw you as someone who would settle for a man like that.
E.
Why would anyone base their love on if you can cook or not?
Sorry, it should be a string.
I think it's unfair. No one
E.
should set the yardstick for a successful marriage or relationship.
Okay,
If a woman can
then
cook or not. Is this what you
we're
want?
done.
I don't know what I want.
What's next?
Can you look at? I used to think top
Add choices for the other formal parameters, B, C, D, and E.
You do know what you need.
Perform the rest of the initialization of the dialog box by calling in it QuestionDialog.
Okay, so they say we should call this method.
You wanted a better life, and you left me because of greed. Stop blaming me. I was confused.
Okay.
Confused to recognize real. Listen, shoot me if you want to, but I still stand my ground that I wanted.
Perform the rest of the initialization. Make sure that the constructor still includes the initialization of correct answer from the previous assignment.
Yes, C. Yes, it's there. Okay, then what's next again?
This is the life you wanted, leave it. You know what, you're so quick to judge me. Let me ask you a very honest question.
Yes.
Please, I need your honest answer. Would you allow your sister Bukulola when she's pushing 30, you're already 30 to date to my life? You're broke, no money, you could barely sleep from hand to mouth.
You should now be able to use multiple choice question. Uncomment all the questions in your main program in quiz. The file, quiz.java, should now be unchanged from the previous assignment. You should not have any error warnings, and you should be able to run your program to ask all your previous questions, but with your new dialog boxes. Your assignment will be graded by your peers using the following criteria. Each item is worth 10 points, for a total of 90 points.
Okay, so they say we are done and we should have no errors. Okay, then we should remove the comments we put. So we should remove the comment, this comment here that we added. So we should have no errors. Okay, in case you did not make it to this part, let me show you everything that is inside. Okay, so this is the question.java file.
If you want this thing to work,
Here are they.
You already did
These are the questions from here to here. Okay, this is the question, the Java file.
Excuse you, I'm not desperate.
This is the question dialog file.
Do I sound desperate? No, just listen to
This is the question file.
listen to me and do as I say.
You can see everything that's inside. Okay. This is the true or false question file. Everything that is inside. This is the multiple choice question file. So we should run our program and see. Okay, here's the first question. I know all of the above is correct. I think it's A and C, E, what? Yes. Then it's a B. Okay, it's A. And false, 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 false. Okay, so everything is working. Oh, we're done. Everything is working. Everything is working. Let me just go through the files again.
It worked. I told you it was going to work. It did. So guess who's calling?
Question.java file. QuestionDialog.java.
I do apologize. Anyways,
Question. Sorry, I meant quiz here. Quiz. Then here is the question.java file. Yes, everything is inside.
Oh, it's only young girl that
Yeah,
that's really fooling herself around.
everything is inside the true false question,
First of all, I don't even like
multiple choice question.
because I can't
So
find
we are
it.
good
It's
to
on my
go.
phone, no, I just have to go with it.
Thank you guys. Please,
You know what my
if you have any questions,
I found out
ask
that
in the
she doesn't know
comments.
how to cook.
If you're struggling,
So I kept trying
just
to make
leave a
food,
comment.
give us to make.
Going to help you out. Thank you.
I beg Jerry, hi is Luciana.
Please like, share, subscribe.